Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Ignacio. My name is Gregory Mertz. I am the United States Campaigns Director for CitizenGO. Our first two panels will be moderated by Luis Losada. Luis has over 20 years of experience in journalism, and we are proud to have him as our global editor at CitizenGO. He is responsible for facilitating campaigns in over 12 different languages, notably to defend religious liberty and freedom throughout the world. So thank you, Luis.
Well, I will ask Father Douglas to come to the floor. We will have the opportunity to know more details of what's happening with Christians in Erbil, in Iraq. So I think it would be a great opportunity to know from the first hand what's going on and especially what's going to be the future. So thank you, Father Douglas. Okay, we will have this time as an interview, and so I'll do some questions. If anybody of you wants to ask something, we will have maybe some time at the end for questions from the public. Thank you very much, Father Douglas.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, we have been speaking last Thursday for 3 years on Daesh and all the pressure that Daesh is doing in Iraq, or Daesh or ISIS. I don't know which name you prefer.
Actually, I like to call them Islamic State. So please stop calling them Daesh or ISIS. Why? Because if we are going to call them Daesh, that means we are going to call them as a gang. But if we call them Islamic State, that means we are also putting a pressure on all Islamic nations. This is your state. Why the Western country have to take action against the Islam, and the Muslim, they are watching. So if you are not agree with them, so it's according to Sharia, you have to do also to fight those that are not agree with Quran. That means even those that are Muslim. So why we have to fight them? The Muslim have to fight them. If you are not agree this is Islamic State, so defeat them. You will not find any declaration come from all the Muslim leaders defeat ISIS, Islamic State. Do you know why? Because what Islamic State doing in Syria and Iraq, they are following the book. Which book? Quran. That's why no one can defeat them. So please start to recall them Islamic State.
Father, you are not confident on the possibility of a moderate Islam, as you have said? There is no room for that?
You know, I have to be really clear with this. We are not against Muslim as our brothers and sisters. We are against the idea, such as democracy, modern, those that are not exist in Islam. They are against the Sharia. So please, no need to dance around. Those people, they hate the democracy. I can give you many examples for that. A lot of examples. What is the difference between the Islamic State in Syria and Mosul as in Saudi Arabia? Both, they are behave the people. That's right. They take off the head of the people. What's the difference between and Iran? So please, much they are following the book, forget about the democracy and modern life.
There are some people that think that maybe with time or with a lot of time, the Islam could be moderated and could be a democracy. Do you agree with that?
We are still waiting since 1,400 years. So maybe in another 1,400 years. Maybe.
Okay.
I hope, believe me, I'm not saying that to criticize them. I born among them. And me and my people, we do love them. This is the idea. And we feel sorry about them. You cannot live with the people and you are believing to kill us. Which kind of life is that?
Let's speak about money that as we are in the United States. Who is funding the Islamic State? Where is the money coming?
In general, usually peace didn't bring actually a good income, but war, yes, do. Much we have war in Middle East, that's a good for business. Who is actually happy with that? The weapon companies. If we have peace, there are no income. So they are using a different source. I hope I know all the answers for that. But for example, if they start with my country, you know Mosul going back more than 5,000 years with heritage, and they sold all the heritage, and many of those, they are priceless. I'm talking about 1,000 years of heritage. How much those actually are value. So when they sold out, so we are talking about those people, they are using another people, they are jobless. For example, they pay 500 to the people to join them. So people, they are jobless. Someone to give them $500. They are ready not actually to be an Islamic State, but even to change the God himself.
But where's the money coming? Because for paying to those people that are hopeless, there should be an income. And I don't think weapons are, probably it's petrol. Where they get the petrol, who is buying the petrol, how they get to those funds?
Actually, it is not, 5 years in Syria, if you count how many petrol they sold, And the question it is, who buying that petrol from them? Who agree with them? So this is the question. And I believe a lot of countries, they are involved what happened in the Middle East. So don't look to those people, countries that are around Iraq and Syria, for example, our lovely neighbor Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Iran. When they are in front of the camera, they are talking about how much they are loving us. But why they are accepting to the all terrorists get in through them land to our land?
You would say that all those countries that you have mentioned are collaborating with Islamic State? Somehow, as buying the petrol that they are managing?
I will say, even if any country keeps silent to what happened in Iraq and Syria, it's involved what happened. Because the silence itself is guilty.
How can we cut the funds of Islamic State? Because I guess that this could be the key to solve the problem. How can we stop the business so we stop the war?
Again, it is not the problem, it is just about the Islamic State. One day, Islamic State will disappear. Yeah, but still the problem is there. We will have another generation of those group. By the way, the Islamic State are the third generation. The first one, Al-Qaeda. Second one, Mus'ab al-Zarqawi in Iraq. The third one, Islamic State. What I'm afraid about, the fourth generation. And the fourth generation, what I am actually really afraid, that is not going to be in Middle East. It's going to be in the Western countries. So be careful and open your eyes. Wake up.
What is the information you have of the fourth generation? Or your impression at least?
Look what's happened in Europe. Do you have another proof? Here in the United States, you are the first country actually they had been hit by Islamic State. Yeah? Did you forget September 11? Or not? Or not yet? So please wake up. Wake up. When we talk the truth, don't someone actually be smart and to say, this is politically not correct. We are saying the truth. We are dying. And the cancer at your gate. When we say the truth, it is not actually because we hate that part, but we are saying the truth. Without saying the truth, that we are involved. We are actually agree what the Islamic State are doing.
Speak on the immediate future on Mosul and Caracas. Do you think it would be liberated soon? That the war, at least the military war, will finish quite soon, maybe in 2 months, 3 months?
Again, I will say, according as an Iraqi, and I'm ex-soldier during Saddam time, to me, Islamic State member, they are like little mouse. But that little mouse became a dragon because people actually, they receive them as a salvation group. One day they are going to be defeat those people, but the problem will remain there. The time after Islamic State will be more harder than the time during Islamic State. Even in Syria. Because those people, they are going again back, the communities, the minorities, they are going to return back to the same table, to the same neighborhood, to the same house, what they are going to do. They are just discover who actually turn against them. They were not the Islamic State, they were the neighbors who turn against us. And this is actually the tragedy, this is the shameful. So we have to think, no peace in Middle East without Christian. If there are no Christian in Middle East, just say goodbye to the Middle East, will destroy forever.
Why do you say that? Because maybe the Christians are the only ones that may have neighborhood with different types of Islamic people, or because the Islamic people are fighting each other and there is no possibility of peace?
I do respect the other minorities in my country. But actually, the only group in my country, even Syria, believing in forgiveness are Christian. For example, we have Yazidis, I do respect, but those people, when they were returning back, they are going to ask for revenge. Blood back. Why? We are talking about hundreds of girls being raped and they kidnap them. Nobody knows where they are. Do you think those people, they are going to forgive as a Christian? No. So much we have a Christian, we will give a good example of forgiveness. Actually, the Christian in Middle East, our role is to keep the wolves away from each other. Is that clear? We are keeping the wolves away from each other to not fight each other. We are keeping the harmonic in our country. This is the example of peace. For a new Iraq, should have Christian. No Christian, no new Iraq.
But by the moment, like 80 or 90% of Christians, Iraqis, have gone out from the country. Would you say that Iraq now is quite different than the Iraq of 10 years ago?
Before 2000 year, yeah. Before 2003, yeah, we were 2 million. Less than 2 million. Now we are 200,000. And the number actually, I don't think so going in Greece. We are losing our people because we are losing hope. We are feeling that we are alone and forgotten. So I am saying that this is the last chance of my people to stand in Iraq. If we are not going to take action now, after 5 years, there are no Christian in Iraq.
Why do you say it's the last opportunity? Because most of the people are willing to go out from the country because there is no hope?
In my church, in my town, we are trying to provide one reason to people to stay. Maybe the photo behind me, they are not showing the negative life, they are showing positive life. This is in my church. In my church, it was just a small church with a huge garden. I must always complain why I have a small church with a huge garden. When the people came and they live in my church, 10 now, 18 months, but we were able in 1 year to do a lot of projects. What is that to prove? We can rebuild ourselves. We are not belong to land, we are belong to Jesus. But by that hope, we can make every land our land. So we move from Mosul to Kurdistan and rebuild ourselves there. Kurdistan going to be the last stand of Iraq, of Christian in Iraq. So let's actually stand with them. Let's stand with our people. Give them opportunity to stay. This is important.
If Mosul is liberated, and I hope it would be liberated soon, are the people from your parish going to go back to their houses, if there are houses, or even to try to rebuild their houses and to rebuild the neighborhood in Mosul?
For sure, 20,000 people from Mosul, they will not go back, for sure. Why? Because actually who put the letter N in Arabic, they were the neighbors, not the Islamic State. So for sure those people, they are not going back. But for the villages, if they find that really they are going to be help and welcome, maybe 20% or 30% they are going back.
There are some people that are planning, they are speaking on a Nineveh plan, a kind of space where Christians could be saved inside Iraq. What do you think of that idea? Could it be a good idea for the safety of Christians?
As I am Iraqi citizen, I am free to live where I want. If I want to live in Baghdad, Kurdistan, or Basra. And to create a zone for a Christian between Arab and Kurd, that they call it buffer zone. To me, it's my opinion. To me, it's like a jail or like zoo. Why we have to put good people in jail and the bad people, they are free? Why we have to bring international troops, soldiers, protect a small community inside between the wolves? You are giving a green light to the wolves to attack and act again. So that idea, even I respect those people, they bring that one and they say we have to protect. Please, you are destroying our community. You are not protecting us. Don't send soldier to protect us. Change the constitution of Iraq and let the rest, we will do that. Change that constitution based on Quran and Sharia and we will live free.
But the Constitution also speaks on democratic values. So how is that democratic values and Quran at the same time?
I don't know how. Did you see that one day that wolf, he's dancing with sheep? It's not happened. It's not happened. In our constitution, they put a word of democracy actually. Do you know why? It's just for you, for Western country, to feel comfortable with our constitution. Because when you will see the democracy, oh yeah, just continue read the constitution, and they say it is based on Quran and Sharia. That means forget about it.
Probably one of the changes you should be in the constitution or maybe in another law is to put out the religion in an ID, because in the Iraqi ID there appears the religion, and
Yeah, it's not. It's happened actually to us from a long time, even with during the ex-regime, Saddam regime. In our ID, it was written, where is the section of religion? It was written, for me, I am Christian. They were written non-Muslim, and no one actually knows that during Saddam, as a Christian, it was forbidden for us, if we have a new baby in a family, it's forbidden for us to call that baby, to give him a name like foreign names or Christian names. Like names like Antonio, like Luis, like Alejandro, forbidden. We have to call Muslim name or Arab name. So that time actually, almost the kids' name is Yusuf, that means Joseph, and for the girls, Maryam. Because both they are written in Quran. And this is the only thing we have belong to us. So we have a lot of issue. I don't want to talking about the religion in this, but I'm not saying that we are against the religion. No, we have to respect that, but to not put actually the whole country, now in my country, is like, this is really strange. The politicians in my country, when they took the microphone, they start with the phrases from Quran, they end with the Quran, they pray, and sometimes to me I confuse. He's a political man or he is a religion man. So you understand, we are talking actually about. But when they meet my government, when they meet with a Western country, of course they talk about what? The freedom, religion, the human right, and they want you to hear what you want to hear from them.
you're confused probably because Islam is inside confused. They don't have the difference between politics and religion.
They believe that the base of the politics is actually also based on Islam.
In the We Are In manifesto, we are asking the Christian minorities to be able to be in the peace desk or negotiation desk for the future. But how is going to happen that, or how could happen that in Iraq, where there are 13 Christians party? There's a huge division on that.
You know, in 1970s in Iraq, actually, they were not a problem like that. We were multicultural, multi-idea, this issue start when actually, when the speech became mono with the other. That means you have to listen just to me. If not, you have to leave. It is not about how many parties we have. For example, every country they have, I believe, more than us. In India, they have religion more than us. In another place, they have more, ideas than us. But the problem is, we have just a group. They are all of time. They want to tell us we are the only group, and the others, they are just a slave, like what we saw yesterday on movie. The other, they are just tools and slave to us. So this is actually not work. I am saying that much we have different idea, different party, different religion, no problem with this. But the problem is when they are not acceptable to live with me anymore. This is the problem.
But do you think that the Christians should have a kind of unity for having just one voice, at least outside, abroad, of the Christian voice of Iraq in the international community?
That's why you are here. That's why you are here. This is your call. That's why we are here to tell him to speak out. That's why you had to tell our stories, because we are here belong to each other. I'm not here begging for your help. This is your duty to tell our brothers and sisters there, they are living in hell.
This is your call.
Yesterday we were delivering the 400,000 signatures asking United Nations to recognize the genocide. Are you confident that the United Nations, the international community, will recognize that the persecution of Christians is a genocide?
We are victims. And do you think that victims are caring about the word? Which kind of call you are going to give it? For example, when I talk with my people, even with the kids, Father, where you been? I say, I was in European Parliament, talk about genocide. And they say, what's genocide? Kids, they don't know so what is genocide? No, nothing, maybe. How can I explain to the kids what genocide? But genocide, just I want you to remember, my people been attacked last 100 years 8 times. But no one knows about that. That's why they call my church the Church of Martyrs, the Church of Blood. That's why our patriarch used to wear red. Why? Because he is ready to testimony, to be sacrificed, and also he wearing all the blood of martyrs as a sign. I am wearing the blood of our martyrs. So genocide, it is the first right step to tell to our people, we are the victims. Yes, with dignity we understand you are victim. But this is the first step. I am saying this is the first step. Without saying this is genocide, we are not telling the truth. Without saying this is not genocide, we are not saying the truth. To say this is a genocide, we are saying the truth. What happened to my people is a genocide. To me, I told in DC, Washington, I told them, believe me, the word of genocide to me is a polite word. Can you find another word? How we can explain what is happening in Syria or in Iraq? The genocide is really a polite word. But we have to take the steps for people's dignity.
You say that genocide, the declaration of genocide would be the first step. What would be the following?
We have to put it for short and for long term. I'm not a smart man, but this is for lawyers and for the other people, they are really smart. But for short term, those people, they are living in this situation, we have to stop that suffering immediately. Don't send soldiers, not about bombing my countries, no any more soldiers. But I'm saying we have to stop the suffering of people, move them to real houses with dignity. For the long term, the first issue should be change in Middle East. The first thing is the constitution of the Muslim Arab countries in Middle East. If that one we are going to change it, believe me, all of us, we are going to live in love and just and happiness together forever. This is important.
Okay, thank you very much. We will have some time for questions from the public, so just there's a question over there, another one, and a third one, right? Go. Yeah, Gregory, sorry, could you? No, it's for translation.
Yeah, my question is more of a statement. He mentioned that Yazidis believe in vengeance. I think that's totally wrong, and you are wrong on that. We, as Yazidis, we do not believe in revenge. We believe in peace, and we're peaceful people. Just like Christians, we've always been targeted by extremists in that region. Also, you mentioned something about 500 Yazidis were abducted by ISIS women. That shows your ignorance about how many Yazidis were actually abducted. There were more than 5,000 women and girls, just women and girls, and I'm really disappointed about your statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are taking care about, in our churches in Erbil, thank you for your question, 400 families among us, and they are welcome forever among us. And the numbers actually, the numbers from them, they are talking about this side, not that side, because you have two sides like Rabi'a and Sinjar and the others. And this is one. Second, I'm talking about with the people, like I know them by name, like Qidar and Nashwan. Those people always actually, they are telling me, Father, how can I forget what happened to my cousin? How can I forget and to tell what happened to my friend's sister like this, you know? I believe this, yes. What happened to Yazidi is really shameful. But I am telling that how we can stop this violent to not go to the level of revenge again. This is the question.
There was a question though. Gregory, could you?
So my question is, Kurdistan is the last stand for Christianity in the region. Well, that might. And you think the Constitution is the first step towards getting Christians back in peace in Iraq? What are the steps to getting the Constitution in place? How do we realize that? Does that make sense?
No, not. Can you repeat it in English?
How do we get a constitution in place in Iraq, a new constitution? What are the steps to that process without using troops?
Constitution in Iraq is the new one, okay? It's come after 2003 when the American get into Iraq and they change for the new constitution. That's one is actually written now. But it's not fair with that constitution. How we can change it, you know, my government actually listened to the Western country, such as Europe and the State Department. So we can actually, it is not Quran, so we can change it. That's why I want to for the international community to force them to change that constitution to be equal with all. For example, one of it's written in constitution, the government should protect when they are, Muslim, they have first go to the Shia in Najaf. So the government have to protect, and they sent 40,000 to protect the people that time, and they were actually our brothers and sisters, Yazidi, they were killing by Islamic State, and no one sent to them. And no one actually can blame them. Why? Because this is in constitution. So we have to change that horrible mentality in that constitution.
Thank you, sir, for coming to speak in New York. First, I wanted to echo this gentleman's comments from the Yazidi I've met. Look, we just hosted them for a conference in Jerusalem on genocide. They faced, I think, 74 massacres in their history. I've never heard of Yazidi revenge. And I'd like to say that what's going on in Iraq is, partially in part because America, I don't know, maybe sought revenge for what happened on 9/11, with a Christian evangelical president. So in any case, my question was more about, I was curious about your experiences in Saddam's army, how you got to that position, what your capacity was there, and what the overall Christian community and what you were doing during the Al-Anfal genocide, one of the greatest genocides in Iraqi history perpetuated by Saddam and the Ba'athist regime, which a lot of people have concerns that the Christian community there was silent or acquiescent to Saddam's party.
If I understood well, okay, I'll not say that genocide is not an important word. I'm saying as a victims, when they are victims, actually, they don't know what is if any word you are going to call them. I repeat, the genocide is the first right step should be taken, but from a long, long time. Now the world actually they hear about our pain there in my country, but we are talking about for a long, long time. So, but this is the law. This is the international law. They call it a genocide, and if the genocide going to bring the dignity to our people, yeah, we have to take that. Okay, thank you.
I think many Maybe we have taken for granted that everybody knows your personal testimony because we've seen your videos, but I would like you to tell us your personal testimony being kidnapped by ISIS and your reaction afterwards and how you forgive and the meaning of forgiveness. I would like to listen from you.
Shortly is that, that I'm normal priest from Baghdad, but after the ceremony, the Sunday Mass, I went out and I found myself that they blocked the highway by 2 cars. So they took me nowhere, And I spent 9 days with those people. When I arrived, they tied my hand and my eyes. So they let me the first 4 days without water, for example. And the day 5th, they offered to me water to drink. And during those 4 days, I was really looking for water. So anyone was passing in my mind, like my family, my friends, they are always telling me, Father, do you need water? And day 6, they start negotiated with another priest. But they let me talk with the priest, and I was able to tell the priest this word. They told me, you have to speak with him in Arabic, not in your language, Aramaic. And so I told him, Ayela, that means it's over, it's finished. So the priest understood that I'm not going back. So he told them, okay, I don't want to talk with Father, let me continue talk with them. So he told them, keep Father Douglas to you. We don't want him anymore. We are going to consider him as one of our martyrs. Good friend, But if you understand what's mean to stop the suffering of people, sometime to be in hand of God, it's better to be in wrong hand. The suffering itself sometimes is easier than the suffering the people they are really care about you. So we have to stop the suffer of the people who care about us, and this is important. So the day 6th, they took me to the ugly, stinky room, that when they used to put Quran, the TV on, one of the channel, and for 2 reasons. One, if I'm going to shout, no one hear my voice, and also to showing how they are believers, they are listening to Quran all the day. So they hit me they torture me different way. By hammer, they broke my teeth, my nose, and my bag, one disc in my bag. After 9 days, they released me. And during the day with those people, during the day I was the spiritual father. They used to ask me many questions, like about their private life. When he asked me, for example, what should I do with my wife? Because all Iraqi ladies, they are talk a lot and picky. What I do with my wife? She's always demanding so I was telling him, come on, you have to love your wife. Tell her every day, good morning, honey, like this. The same people during the night, they used to hit me and pit me and call me infidel. The day follow, ask me for forgiveness. Without forgiveness in my country, no peace at all. So I am lucky, I am lucky among my people. They blew up my church in front of me. I survived twice by explosion, twice my car destroyed. I got shot by AK-47 Kalashnikov, and still the bullet is still in my leg. and I kidnapped for 9 days. Till now, I am in love with my country.
You need to go? Yeah.
Last question.
Sorry, but the father has to take a plane. Sorry, but the father has to take a plane and has no more time. Thank you very much to all of you. Sorry for you and for the questions that are lack. Thank you, Father. Thank you very much. Good luck. God bless you.